In this presentation, we're going to explore a case of mistaken identity. This is the leading cause of failure in change management programs, and it's why management teams regularly pursue impossible goals in change programs that are doomed to fail from the outset. We'll demonstrate that management have generally misconceived the nature of operating performance. Management tend to see performance losses as being caused by local problems, which can be fixed locally. But this isn't true. We'll take a holistic view of performance and demonstrate that key measures of performance are just the individual factors within one integrated measure of capacity utilization. Performance losses can't be recovered unless capacity utilization is first improved. Let's say that an organization's production capacity is 168 units per calendar week, or exactly 1 unit per clock hour. Let's also say that demand from customers is just 84 units per week, or half the acquired capacity. So what happens to excess capacity in a production system? Excess capacity must be either discarded or stored. An easy way to dispose of excess capacity is by leaving operating assets idle. So let's say we leave 10% of the 168 acquired hours of capacity idle. That's about 17 hours of capacity that will never be converted to output, but that still leaves us with about 151 hours or units. So what next? Excess capacity can be discarded if our assets are not available for some reason. We can't produce output even though we'd planned to do so. So let's discard 15% of the remaining 151 hours of production time by allowing the system to go into downtime. That's another 23 hours or units that can't be converted to output. So now we're left with just 128 hours or units of capacity, but that's still 44 hours or units more than we need to satisfy demand. We can slow down the production process and run at a speed which is below its achievable run rate. So we'll discard 20% of the 128 hours that remained after the downtime that we experienced. That's the equivalent of discarding another 26 hours or units of capacity. So now we're left with about 103 hours or units, and that's still more than we need at just 84 hours. How do we get rid of the last 20 or so units of excess capacity? With about 20 units or hours of excess capacity remaining, another way of discarding the remaining excess is to produce output which is unsaleable because it doesn't meet the quality expectations of the client. So let's say we discard 10% of the remaining capacity by producing quality defects. That's another 10 units of capacity that will generate no saleable output. But we still have 10 units left to discard. So what next? We can store excess capacity by putting it in a warehouse as inventory. And then we can write off its financial value and subsequently destroy or discard it. This can't be done with services. But let's say we send 5% of our remaining capacity into inventory, which will subsequently be written off. That leaves us with about 5 units or hours of excess remaining to discard. Finally, we can sell output at a loss. And we can do this by lowering prices to a point where we realize an unprofitable outcome, let's say a unit loss. Selling output at a loss is just another way of discarding excess productive capacity, no matter what strategy or endgame we may invoke to justify such losses over time. We now see that each of these different measures of discarded capacity are mathematically dependent upon all of the others. If we change the value of any one, one or more of the other values must change, because the product of all of them is equivalent to the capacity utilization across the entire system. Holding capacity utilization constant, no one measure of performance can be improved without the commensurate deterioration of others. Excess capacity migrates between functional measures of performance. The individual performance measures are just local valves used to release excess capacity. We can raise local performance by pushing the excess over the functional fence. However, a sustained improvement can only occur if the capacity utilization of the entire system is first improved. And that's what contemporary change management theory really misses. In the reductionist or functional view of an organization, every performance loss is imagined as being caused by problems that have no relationship to excess capacity. Downtime isn't caused by a need to discard excess productive capacity. It's caused by poor procedures and poor skills. These problems can be remedied locally, intrafunctionally. Downtime can be recovered by local change initiatives which never stop to look at capacity utilization. Every performance measure faces a unique set of operating problems and uses a different unit of measure in the functional view. Loss-making prices are not a means of discarding excess productive capacity. The losses are caused by poor procedures and disciplines or bad routings and bills of materials. Pricing can be fixed and profit can be restored. Pricing is unrelated to downtime, unrelated to slow running, and unrelated to quality defects. In conclusion, we'll leave you with just one question. Go to the project manager for your most important internal change program and ask them, what is the level of capacity utilization in our system as a whole, and how much are you planning to lift it in this program? If you're told there is no explicit goal to lift capacity utilization, you should begin to question the likelihood of success. We hope you enjoyed the presentation.